Hey, what is up, guys? Card Scheffler 99 here, and today we are going to go through the top 10 magicians on America's Got Talent to date as of today, 2016. Don't forget about our contest. We're giving away a $30 gift card to any platform that you would like. Just like this video, comment "I want to enter" and be subscribed, and you will immediately be entered. We will have a video posted on November 31st about who the winner is. So let's talk about number 10. At the 10th position, we have Piff the Magic Dragon.
Alright guys, so Piff the Magic Dragon was basically a comedy and magician act. He did some basic magic
guys,
things.
really quick, we're just going to give you a rundown of some of the tricks that Piff did. We're going to give you, we're going to talk about why he's, a lot of people are at the position they're at.
He was just really funny in general and did some pretty cool magic acts. He also had his really cool sidekick, the dog, man. That was great right there. Anyways.
Also, he did some pretty average tricks.
Yeah.
But he definitely is one of the most entertaining magicians that's ever been on the show, especially with his little dog. He did, some of his acts being, his first act, which was, pretty mediocre card change, switch. He did a card teleportation trick in the judge cuts. And then from there he did some other tricks that, weren't really too impressive. But, I think a lot of people know the name Piff the Magic Dragon just because of how funny and how entertaining he is as a magician. But, due to the fact that he isn't the best magician in the world, we do put him at the number 10 position. So let's move on to number 9. We have Blake Vogt.
He was a really good magician. He did some complicated tricks. He did some easier tricks, but he's mainly known for his money tricks.
Blake Vogt did not win. I think he lost around the quarterfinal stage of America's Got Talent this year. But Blake Vogt, probably most famous for his money trick that he did, which we actually have a reveal for. So you can see a card. You'll see a card pop up right now to our reveal for that Blake Vogt trick. But if you don't know who Blake Vogt is, if you've ever seen the movie Now You See Me and Now You See Me Too, he was actually the magic advisor. So a lot of times you would see people in the movie actually do stuff, like cardistry and stuff like that. It was actually Blake Vogt, and it was not, the hands that you see doing all the magic was actually Blake Vogt's hands in the movie Now You See Me. So that's just some, interesting background on Blake Vogt. He didn't do too well, I don't think he chose the best tricks, but he is a pretty famous magician. So we put him down at number 9.
At number 8, we have
Mike Super. Mike Super did some really cool kind of mentalism, it was a weird act. It was considered magic, but he did something with his imaginary spirit named Desmond, who would actually do these creepy things like break a glass vase or shock certain people with electricity, something like that. Later into the show, Mike Super actually did change the typical magic, and he kind of avoided the Desmond kind of thing. Out of respect to Howard Stern, who told him that, you can go further with just a magic act, and Mike Super actually did a lot of tricks with just plain cards, which is really cool. So that's why we put Mike Super. I haven't really heard much from him lately. He wasn't on this season. I think he was a couple seasons ago. So that's Mike Super at number 8. So now that we're at number 7, we give this position to David and Leeman. David and Leeman, that's right. They're probably most famous for their pressure phrenology trick that they did on Howie Mandel, where basically they would pressure phrenol his head or, touch certain parts of the skull, and he wouldn't be able to read. Now that actually, it doesn't exist. That's not real. There's actually, the way they did it was basically, the cards, they were special cards. You could tell by the designs that they had on it. And Howie Mandel's actually colorblind,
yeah.
And it would actually, they had different cards, and they would actually, show him a card. He can't read it because he's colorblind. And then at the end, when they actually had Howie Mandel, when they stopped touching his head and Howie got to read it, they were showing him a different card. So David and Leeman definitely, they did some really good tricks. David and Leeman and Mike Super were on the same season. So let's move on to the next magician, and that is number. What are we on? We number 6.
Smoothini. He is mainly known for his salt trick.
And we actually do have a reveal for that, so you'll see a card pop up for our reveal on the Smoothini salt trick.
Yeah, so anyways, he did some really cool tricks, but they were mainly beginner stuff, like shoving a pencil up your nose and at your mouth, the sponge balls tricks. Those were mainly beginners tricks, but he did do really well. I don't know exactly how far he made it.
I think he got kicked out around the quarterfinal stage as well.
Yeah, he did really well, but he's mainly known for his salt trick.
You know, I think, you know, later into the competition, his tricks, you know, being a bar magician, you know, you only have so many tricks. So
yeah.
He kind of ran out of tricks, and that kind of resulted in him leaving the show. But again, we do have that reveal on the salt trick, which is probably what he's most famous for to date. So let's move on to the next position. At number 5, we have Steven Brundage.
Yeah, he is mainly known for his Rubik's Cube tricks.
He's actually the only Rubik's Cube magician in the world. So it's really cool because he actually gets to make up his own tricks. You know, his own tricks, and that's kind of cool. So he does a lot of Rubik's Cube magic. We do have a reveal for Steven Brundage trick that you'll see a card for right now, so you can click on that if you want to go check that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brundage did a lot of cool tricks.
He had the color changing, like from mixed up to completely solved.
Yeah, he can take a completely mixed up Rubik's Cube, toss in the air, and solve it completely.
He also had some ripped cards appear inside the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, that's actually the trick we did reveal, where he actually gets a card to teleport inside of a Rubik's Cube. So really cool. Brundage, he was on the current season, or the most recent season of America's Got Talent, season 11, and he did make it to the finals, I believe, which was really cool. And anyway, let's move on to number 4. We have Jon Dorenbos, also known as the long snapper
for the Philadelphia Eagles. He did a bunch of easy tricks, but he also did some really complicated ones. He did some ambitious card routine, which is really simple.
He did an ambitious card routine. He did a trick with the giant map, which we have a reveal for, so you'll see a card for that right now as well if you want to go check that out. But yeah, Dorenbos did a lot of cool tricks. Yeah, I mean, you know, he's
a good magician, but
he's an all-around magician. You know, he makes up his tricks.
He's pretty funny too at times, but
you know, he's also a motivational speaker. Just as just some background on Jon Dorenbos himself. He actually came in 3rd place in the most recent season of America's Got Talent.
And that's pretty good for a magician.
Losing to the Clairvoyants, who was also a trick, and they're actually going to be on our list. But anyway, let's move on to the next position, which is number 3 at Collins Key, he was I think 4 seasons ago, he was a young teenage magician, which was probably the first time America's Got Talent has ever seen a teenager do a magic act. And, you know, he just brought a hip, fun, you know, modernized magic act. He's most popular for his
envelope trick.
His envelope trick and his money teleportation trick. We actually have a reveal video for both of those tricks, so you'll see cards for those as well. And
he also is known for his Collins Key card switch.
Yes, his Collins Key card switch, which we also have a video on as well. You know, Collins did really well. I think he lost in the semifinals, maybe the finals, but he did a lot of really cool, just, you know, normal card tricks that were pretty cool for him. All right, moving on. Number 2, we have the Clairvoyants. The Clairvoyants, they were just a pretty cool act. They did a lot of mentalism tricks, which was really cool to watch. A lot of like mind reading. They had, you know, their assistant do a lot of mind reading stuff. You know, like so they would pick a card or, you know, pick an object, and blindfolded she could, you know, tell, you know, what they were holding, or, you know, the card they chose. A lot of it, you know, a lot of their tricks are actually revealed on YouTube. So they were a really cool act. They actually came in 2nd place this year. So the Clairvoyants, again, really cool mentalism. They've, you know, appeared on many shows. I think they've been on NBC Live. They've been on The Ellen Show. So they're a really popular act.
They're really smart too.
Even though they lost to, and they're probably, you know, they have an original act that comes here in America. So even though they lost to a singer, they're still going to be a really popular act. You could probably see in Vegas. So let's move on to the last position, and this is our favorite magician to exist ever, and that is Matt Franco. Matt Franco, he is really good with, you know, he's good with the deck of cards. He can do really anything. He creates, large scale tricks. He can do, small scale, story card tricks. And he really does anything. And he's actually the only magician to have ever won the show. He won 2 seasons ago, which is exactly why we chose him for our number 1 position. He's also an amazing magician. He had a show, Matt Franco's Got Magic, which is a really cool show. You can see clips of it. He does a lot of really cool tricks. We just give him credit for knowing, for creating all his tricks, for one. And second, he can really think of anything on the spot, whether it's just a small card trick to some, big teleportation trick, stuff like that. And he really comes out, every week on America's Got Talent with some, brand new trick that's always amazing to watch. So, I think, for Matt Franco to be the most creative magician that we've ever seen, that's exactly why he won the show. But, guys, that is our list for the top 10 America's Got Talent magicians. Let us know what you guys think about our list. And this is Card Shuffler 99. Peace out, guys.